How's it going, you guys, and welcome back to the channel. So, I've already done a review on a very interesting movie before called Junior, where we get to see Arnold become a pregnant man. So now I figured, why not? I'll deal with another film that deals with an interesting concept with another funny actor. Today, we're going to be talking about Mrs. Doubtfire. Mrs. Doubtfire, directed by Chris Columbus, stars Robin Williams and Sally Field, in this story that follows a man named Daniel Hillard. After a divorce from his wife, the pair are forced to decide on custody rights on their kids from the court, but Daniel loses sole custody to his ex-wife. Because of this, he decides to transform into this much older Mrs. Doubtfire and become a housekeeper for the kids, so that he will always get to see them. What follows is a struggle between playing two roles at once, making for some comedic bits in the movie. So going into this film, I was a little bit nervous considering that Robin Williams films don't exactly have the best track record. I mean, I like him fine in some movies, especially like Aladdin and Good Morning Vietnam, but it often seems like he's usually stuck in a sloppily written story where he doesn't live up to his full potential. With Mrs. Doubtfire, I really wanted to see if this was just another one of those sloppily written films that can't utilize Robin Williams to his full potential. But luckily, that just wasn't the case, and I can safely say that Mrs. Doubtfire was actually quite good. Like I stated, I've already talked about Arnold playing a pregnant man in Junior on this channel before, but having Robin Williams portray an old lady doesn't require a whole lot of suspension from disbelief. He already has amazing talent when it comes to portraying someone that he's not, especially in Aladdin with his various voice impressions. We also get to see him use his talent here, as well as when we see him using his improv as he plays a voice actor in the beginning of the movie, on the phone when he's playing women with different voices, and as Mrs. Doubtfire when he has to maintain the same voice for long periods of time. There's even a bit in the movie where Robin Williams covers his face in cake, and he ends up telling the woman that it's a face mask, but apparently while they were shooting this scene, the stage lights were so hot that it was melting the cream off of Robin Williams' face. But being the talented actor that he is, he was able to improv through all of this, and he even managed to play around with it. I mean, what can I say? The show must go on. Along with Williams' charm, seeing him play as a woman for most of the movie made for some pretty well executed comedy. It's one of his most iconic performances, to say the least.
Oh, shit.
And I immediately have to give credit to the makeup department for transforming Williams into a fragile old lady. There are many scenes throughout where you can hardly tell that he's just a man wearing a woman's disguise. Then there's that other fraction where you can only see that it's Williams in makeup. But overall, it all holds up pretty well. However, apart from having some very comedic bits with Williams in this movie, it also manages to deal with certain issues such as divorce and separation. From the beginning of the movie, we see that Williams is a voice actor, and that he has a deep relationship with his kids when he ends up quitting his job. What follows is him throwing a birthday party for one of his kids, but it results in him trashing the house, pushing his wife, played by Sally Field, to file for a divorce. During the court case, we get to see Williams come out and express himself in a way that he doesn't really show around his wife, and he ends up going as far as to say that he's addicted to his children. And ultimately, he only gets the right to see his kids once a week while his wife takes full custody of them. What follows is Field sending out an ad for a housekeeper for the kids, and of course, Williams is hired to do the job as Mrs. Doubtfire. As he begins to develop a closer bond with his children, he also gets to learn more about why his marriage ended up in divorce from his ex-wife, revealing a sensitive side of himself that he failed to discover until that moment. This ends up pushing Williams to jealousy as he sees that his wife is now seeing the one and only Pierce Brosnan as Stu. And now that Pierce Brosnan is in the relationship picture with his ex-wife, we get to see Williams try to sabotage the potential connection that they may have going on, which makes for some very comedic bits, but it also gets a little bit disturbing when we see Williams try to kill him. You think I'm making that up? I'm not.
I'll have the jambalaya. And make mine not spicy. I'm allergic to pepper.
Hot jambalaya.
Stu. Oh, he's choking. He's choking.
You know, he does a lot of douchey things before this incident, I'm shocked that he was kept around for as long as he was, despite all of that. But like I said, I enjoyed how this movie managed to tackle issues like these. Through Williams' performance, we get to see a man struggling with the fact that he won't get to connect with his kids like he used to, while potentially losing that connection in the process. We get to see Williams have various outbursts at his wife, considering that he's been pushed to jealousy and anger for so long. And we even get to see him practically begging the court to reconsider their decision when it comes to custody rights for the kids. The kids even explain throughout the film that Williams is their best caretaker, since he has the ability to entertain them and give them all the love he can give. I just wish the movie showed a little bit more of Daniel Hillard doing these activities with his kids instead of having it be Mrs. Doubtfire. I think that would have made the connection more meaningful for us as the viewers. But in the end, though, you get to see Mrs. Doubtfire doing these activities with the kids. And I'd be lying, though, if I didn't say it wasn't heartwarming to watch. There are some issues that I had, though, while I was watching this film. One of these issues is about Sally Field's character. Now, she's being portrayed as the parent with a working job who is out for most of the day and hardly gets to see her kids. She claims that she was always tired of the way Williams' character acted because he could never take anything seriously, and he was always leaving her out of most of it. However, when Williams is expressing how addicted he is to his kids, as well as confronting Sally Field to reconsider their decision, she just refuses. And considering that the kids show that they have a deep connection with their father, you would think that she would be up for the adjustment. And I understand that Sally Field had some issues with Daniel Hillard in their marriage, but at the same time, that just seemed like a douchey-ass move for your husband not to have a couple more days to see his kids. And surely she must have known that the kids had a really deep connection with their father to begin with. But considering that she never even wanted to make the slightest adjustments in the beginning, that was just a douchey move. And I don't think the kids and their father had like a secret connection that the mother never knew anything about. Hell, even near the end of the movie when she finds out that Mrs. Doubtfire was Williams all along, and even ends up having a bigger outburst than she did at the beginning of the movie, only then she's up for making some adjustments. And you could argue the fact that she only did this because she saw how close the kids were connecting with Mrs. Doubtfire, even though it was Williams to begin with. And it also managed to bring out the best side of Williams that the wife never saw. But at the same time, did she never see the connection that the children had with their father before Mrs. Doubtfire? Like, that's pretty douchey, don't you think? It's such a weird thing that happened that the more I thought about it, it made me dislike her character more. I mean, just look at her face and the lawyer's face right here. It practically looks like they're enjoying Williams' suffering.
Months in which to get a job, keep it, and create a suitable home.
Apart from that, though, when you have a movie of a man pretending to be a woman, it makes for some pretty predictable comedy. Even with the unpredictable nature of Robin Williams and his comedy, some of these jokes can be hit or miss, but that's just my subjective opinion. Apart from that, though, there's also some moments in the movie where the comedy can drag on a little bit. And this is especially true during the restaurant scene. Here we see Williams as Mrs. Doubtfire with the family, but he's also playing as Daniel Hillard for a TV executive he's going to start working for. Eventually, he does the classic switcheroo sequence, which makes for some pretty comedic bits throughout this scene. But after a while, it does start to get a little dull. Considering that Robin Williams already did this bit earlier on in the movie, here it just got a little bit stale the longer I watched it, and I just wanted it to end a little bit faster. Overall, though, I gotta say that Mrs. Doubtfire is pretty good for a Robin Williams movie. The comedy for the most part does land, and Williams' charm and improv is what keeps the movie on its feet. It also does a great job with balancing out all the comedy with dramatic moments with the family. Tackling the issues of divorce and separation, I think was done pretty well here, and it made for some heartwarming moments with the family. Like I stated earlier on in the video, there were some things that bothered me throughout this movie, but it didn't hurt it as a whole, and I still managed to find myself entertained from start to finish. I'll end up taking what I can get, considering that Robin Williams is in this movie, and I've seen him fail so many times that I'd like to see him succeed once in a while. So with all that in mind, I'm gonna go ahead and give Mrs. Doubtfire 7 out of 10 brooms.
Hello, Mrs. Hillard, I presume? Euphigenia Doubtfire.
So I'd like to know, what do you guys think of Mrs. Doubtfire? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Or did you not care to watch it? I'd love to know in the comments below. And if you made it this far in the video, I'd appreciate it if you'd leave a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for some more future movie content. Thank you guys for joining me in this review. And I wonder if there's another movie where a man dresses up as a lady.
Where were you? Where were you? How nice we are to this homeless man, a person we don't even know, who probably is pretending to be homeless. You don't look homeless to me, you fat! You don't look homeless to me, you fat! You don't look homeless to me, you